start and we'll just pick it up. Do you know what we were saying?
Yeah, I remember. Do we need to stream back on Twitch?
Well, I'm back on now.
Okay.
Okay. No, that's
Have
what
as
they're
many
for.
as you want.
That's what they're for.
Understand why you were so fucked up the other night. Jesus Christ.
They're very strong.
Yeah.
I had one on Friday, and it I had to not finish it. I had a great I had a blue one here on Friday,
Yeah.
and it fucked me up. That 5%'s a little. That's different than a Coors Light.
Is it
Mango
weird?
is supposed to enhance this.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
The
chocolate, but
having
I even brought my own cookie.
pouring it over
I
ice.
take on every cruise.
It is better. Pour it over ice.
Yeah.
All right, you bring us back, buddy. Here we go. And 3, 2.
I forgot what we were saying.
That was weird. There was a little.
Yeah. We had a little glitch in our system, so we.
But we're back. We're back. You know.
But I wish I had the balls.
Have
to
you
just
ever
park
tried
in
it?
front of Publix. No, I'd be
'Cause
too
you
embarrassed for anybody to watch
Well,
me.
like, would you still be embarrassed if it were a controlled experiment?
I'd do it in a great
Would you do it as a bit? Like, say, I think I could frame it as a bit for this show, in that you, in your mind, you could reframe it as, no, I'm just executing something funny for the show. But in a weird way, you would be trying to do the dickhead, I can walk in and leave my hazards on. You know what I mean? Like, do you think you could do it?
Yeah, for the show, but again, it'd be anticlimactic because nobody would call me out. Nobody says anything because I've never seen anybody call anybody out while doing this. Although, like I said, I've only seen it in Miami up until this weekend.
But there are, okay, now I have seen online, and maybe I'm making this up, but I don't think I am, that these people are very special cases, and normally they are, I want to say, like, from maybe another country, so maybe there's a language barrier, or maybe they're older, but you will call them out, like, so old man parks car in front of Publix, gets out, and you go, hey, what are you doing? And he just puts his hazards on, and you're like, hey, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? And he just keeps walking. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing? And they just...
Yeah. Plus,
I think it's almost they lean into the old, or they lean into the language problem because they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Also, I'm like, most people I feel like are like me in the fact that they're just like mind their business, and they're like, it's not up to me to start policing society or ask this guy why he's parking there. I'm like, that's the parking officials or whoever the hell owns Publix, says that their problem to deal with. I'm not getting involved. I'm just saying it's a ballsy move, and I appreciate the person's fortitude to not care about just leaving their car with their hazards on in front of Publix.
Yeah.
And think to themselves, like, why I'm here is more important than everybody else.
I'm gonna make some.
I'm like, oh, God.
I made a few listeners mad last week when I went on my rant about how if you use self-checkout and you have a full cart of groceries, you're a monster. And I'm going to put this in the same file. And by the way, I saw these people over the weekend. I saw a lady yesterday at our Publix, full cart, must have been 70 items going through self-checkout. Please don't do that.
Now, there is no rule.
There is no rule. You're right. But don't do it.
And
I'm making a rule.
Publix, well, to me.
I'm making a rule. I'm going to call you. I'm going to start calling you out.
Well, to me, it's anti what this whole thing was for, and it's like
I thought it was a quick and go. Like I have a Yoo-hoo,
Or-
and I want to get through fast.
or maybe you have 15 items or something, like a little more than 10, so the 10 items are less, but it's like, but it's easier for you if you have a full cart to go through on the regular checkout, so the person can do most of the work. Why are you doing so much work yourself? You don't get a discount. You know what I'm saying? Like, only a couple things in the bag is fine.
I asked people
but
this.
it's
The
like,
BDMs
it's a free service they offer. Let them scan it and bag it and put it in your cart.
The BDMs said they don't want that because they want to be left alone.
Yeah, but if the person's not going to continually bother you, and like if you do a couple niceties, like have a good day,
You just stay quiet. They'll stay quiet.
Yeah, they will.
They're pros.
Right,
They're professionals.
So they're going to leave you. They're not going to be a Daniel chirping you no matter what, nonstop.
That was hurtful.
No, it's
a little hurtful.
Well,
we just had a relationship therapist in here, and you're already. So that's a lot of pent up anger. That's fine. If that made you feel better.
Oh, I felt it came
make
from
you feel better?
came from the cancer, my butt cancer.
Straight from the butt.
Anyway.
I will say that
I want to talk to a person that parks up front with their hazards on and gets out and runs in, and just I want to go through the mentality.
You know who I think?
while they do it.
You know who I
Do they think it's a zero?
You know
or
who I
they-
think has done it?
Who?
Falconer Jones. I'm putting the call out.
Nah.
He's a rich, privileged white man. I think he's done it.
Yeah,
I think he's done it a couple
Falconer
times.
may have done it.
Also, chat room checking in. Now, this is the true future. This also came up. I didn't get a chance to bring this up to you later. This whole, like, too many items in the self-checkout thing kind of blew up, and then I was fighting with people online, and they were trying to defend their non-chirping, and I get it. You don't want somebody like me, as Tom said, chirping you crazy. That I can't. Look, as much as I disagree with you, I can't understand your distaste for that or your no love for that. I get it.
But how curmudgeon are you? You can't stand someone just saying, like, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
What
are
you
you
cooking
writing
for
this
dinner?
down? Are you listening to what you're saying about your own friend? Your own friend.
I don't, but that doesn't stop me from going to be like, oh, this cashier is going to talk to me a couple sentences. Like,
It does for our listeners.
I'm fine with a couple sentences. I'm not
Do you want the
Scrooge
future?
McDuck.
This is the future. And Ghost of Manute Bull said this. A couple people on our Facebook group said that they get to do this. I believe at Sam's Club. Maybe BJ's has this. With Walmart, you can scan everything on the app, go to a designated checkout, you scan one barcode, bag your stuff, and you're out the door. Another one that I've seen, I think it's Sam's, where you go around with your phone and you scan everything on your own, and you're done. Like, you're doing it as you walk. So, like, you get the toilet paper out, boop, you scan it. You get out you get out your fish sticks, boop, and then you're Apple Pay, and you walk out with your card, and you don't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
I would do that.
That seems like the future.
That is the future.
And
We're just gonna be walking
do they
in a
hand you a
building.
scanner?
No, use your phone.
Oh, your phone.
Use your
okay.
phone. Use the camera on your phone. Everything. They have little barcodes that are like the QRs. You scan them, boom, right to the app. Goes in there. You at the end, you hit enter. Double click for Apple Pay. Use your face. Walk out.
And you're probably saying the same thing I'm thinking is that's going to lead to a lot of theft and people shoplifting.
They're already doing that.
But yeah, not only are they already doing it, that is on a scale of loss way way less of a problem than it is an employee that you have to pay, all the extra taxes. They eventually could sue you for some reason.
That they're doing,
they're hurt.
They've made some of the packaging so smart now that you'd be. It's funny. Like, they're hiding little codes and little I don't even know what you call them in a lot of different products. It makes it a lot harder for you to steal now. And so it's all going to even out.
But also, if that saves you the $50,000 a year it costs to have a human employee, like that, they'll take the loss. Like, I can't imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just way easier for the company to be like, okay, we're going to have some theft. But most people, I mean, look at our entire tax system is built in the United States off of people's word and like them being honest. Like, saying like, so there's not enough IRS agents to catch everybody's dishonesty, and our nation runs on most people are generally honest.
Yeah.
And like same thing with most people aren't there to steal. That's a small percentage. But everybody else is going to do their best to not steal.
I mean, just the convenience of being able to do it that way makes me not want to steal.
Yeah. Although you would think that like once we're doing it all ourselves, like where's the discount here? You got to show it to us.
You do, right? So those places have always been the discount's always sort of been built in. So your Sam's, your Costco's, or BJ's, if they do that, it kind of like, it's almost like you've almost been trained to think that you're getting some savings there.
Because I don't want this corporation to be like, we don't even have to have employees now. And then it's like, prices are up. And it's like, wait a minute, you got to at least put on a sign, like, because we have no
you got to itemize it for me. Yeah.
We have no, or put it on my receipt, like, we have no employees, so here's a, 5% discount on everything. Even if it's BS, like, you can't just shove it in my face, like, no employees, you do all the work and high prices.
Okay, tipping has been, I've been saving this one, but it ties in perfectly because we're talking about prices, and this is perfect.
Oh.
So over the weekend, it was my anniversary. I went to a restaurant that I love, and I didn't know this, but when the bill came, and it's a fine dining restaurant, when the bill came, they just do a blanket 18%. Don't worry about it. It's just 18%.
I'll
How do you feel about that?
That's
Now,
that's fine
here's
because
why
I
I
would have
like
tipped
it.
20.
Yeah, here's why I like it.
Yeah,
I
that
was going to
saves me
tip
2%.
20, and it's a fine dining restaurant where it's almost impossible to get a bad meal or bad service at this particular restaurant. It's Otto's High Dive. I'll say who it is. I loved it because I'm like, well, I would have tipped you more, and I know I'm going to get good service. I'm already getting great service because that's the style of restaurant it is.
Yeah.
You don't, like, it's impossible to get bad service there, I feel like. You might once, but that person's probably not going to work there very long if they're bad at their job. You don't get those type of servers or bartenders at a place like that.
But our whole tipping system is
Broken.
Is screwed because everybody. Okay, a lot of people like myself are just lazy and just give a standard 20 every time.
Yeah.
Even if like, if someone is insanely good and like really is like, you could tell they're
present and
they're
plugged in and
dancing
doing
for
it.
you.
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
all the maybe more. Like okay,
Sure.
I'll give you 30% or whatever. But that's rare, So the difference between like the standard, like better than the standard and worse than the standard is so little that they all get 20. And our system should be every microtransaction should make a difference in tip. And you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't work like that. It's just everybody gets a 20. So now because of that, then that's just the standard of it. So if you're a restaurant and you offer me, like, you just put 18 on there,
Yeah.
you're saving me 2%
Yeah.
that I would have given 20
No matter
anyway.
what, I didn't even look at
I
it.
would have never tipped 18%.
No, but I didn't even look at it because,
Yeah.
like, I was like, ooh, like it was attractive to see that. EJ brought up a good point. He's like, prove to me the server is getting it all. Okay. I mean, but that isn't something I'm just being honest with you. I don't typically look at that when I go out
They
to eat.
usually share them. That's
Yeah.
the thing too. It's like even when you're tipping, you're not even giving the tips to your server yourself. You're putting it in a pool.
Sure.
And they're all splitting it anyway. So it's
And we were the low budget.
Yeah.
We were the low
What the
budget
hell?
table that night. There's an old man in there. There's an old man in Otto's High Dive that bought a 3-ounce pour of rum, and 1 ounce was $80 an ounce.
damn. Yeah.
He did a 3-ounce pour of this crazy rum, and he was like sipping it. He's like, "Oh yes." And everything, and that was just his drink. That's what he started with.
Yeah.
I'm
it
like,
gets up
that's
there.
cool.
Um,
Super cool.
Speaking of ridiculous societal trends,
Please.
so
Chicken jockey. Oh, so dumb.
Okay, well, the other day, Tommy mentioned wanting to watch The Walking Dead, right?
Oh, hold on. I think he can handle that.
So that's what we thought too, because like
I mean,
he's-
really gory, but like zombie gory.
that's what we thought. We're like we watched Matrix together.
Not a lot of cursing because it's on AMC.
Okay. Well, that's okay. This is my the weird.
But cursing isn't even a big deal for you, right? Like probably
No,
more
it's not.
violence than anything else.
Well, so we're watching the first episode, and it's been 20 years since me and Crystal watched it. We watched all the way until like, God, I don't even know what season. We jumped off like maybe 2 seasons before it ended. When it started just getting repetitive and
Yeah.
the writing was ridiculous. We got past Negan and then into it's just over and over the same.
When they
ridiculous.
killed Glenn,
Oh yeah, we got way past that,
Yeah.
but then
I bailed
think
after
Carl
that.
died,
Yeah.
and then
I was so happy when Carl died.
before
I wanted the real actor for Carl to die. I was so mad at Carl. That's how good that actor was.
I didn't see Daryl go to Paris in that
Yeah.
whole thing. Anyway,
That's a Jimmy Buffett song. I don't know if you know that.
so
Daryl went to Paris.
we started thinking, we're like, should we let Tommy watch, or should we all? Because we were watching it
Why
together.
don't you do a family vote on it?
No, well, Crystal's all. She's like, yeah, it's not that bad. Tommy's seen worse. He watches anime, it's violent, whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's seen Five Nights at Freddy's and like some other stuff.
And I just gave him my YouPorn password.
and so
I did finally put my ID so I could get in Florida with no VPN. DeSantis made it happen.
You put your
Yeah, but
There's
my
not even
ID
an
on there.
option
I'm
for that.
one of one person to do that.
So we're like, this should be fine. And then we're remembering, or like, okay, he wakes up in the hospital. Like, how violent was it? Whatever.
So he wakes up. I remember the bike girl is a little gross.
So we watched it, and it's way too violent to the point where we stopped it. We're like, this is too much. And Tommy agreed. He's like, all right, yeah.
What happened? I don't even remember it.
Just how violent it was, and like shockingly violent, and how funny it is that they won't curse. I think they say the S word.
No. The only curse word he ever made was when he was in that 18-wheeler and he turned to it and he's like, they farted with the wrong people. And he
Yeah.
said like the
Yeah, yeah,
S
yeah,
word
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Those mother truckers.
Yeah, it was like so stupid.
Yeah. But no, but that's how ridiculous is it? And for those of you who haven't watched The Walking Dead in a while, like go back and watch it because we live in a society where simultaneously they decided to cut all cursing out of the show. As if that made a difference on what the show is. You know what I'm saying? Like the curse word would be the last thing it was, you know, Rick Grimes shooting a kid straight in the head, even though it was a zombie kid. But it's like so much egregious
you're right.
violence.
A lot of gunfire, a lot of blowing heads off, and okay.
Well, no, but it was like, and then like emotional violence, like where the mom's a zombie, and then she'll eat the kid alive, and then you know, like lots of stuff that's like, God. But you won't say the S word. Like this. How absurd is this?
Yeah.
Like
you can't show a naked butt, but you can show multiple heads in a fish tank floating. Okay.
Right. But just like someone executing a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like I know it's zombies, and that's kind of like
still
supernatural.
A kid. Still zombie kids are still kids. I think on the Venn diagram.
But by the way, I watched Walking Dead. Never thought twice of it, but watching it with my son made me think. I'm like, this is absurd of a society we built where they would be afraid of the S word, but they're totally fine with this insane amount of violence. And they'll never show a butt or a boob.
No.
But they'll show like children getting their head blown off or whatever. And it's like, that's insane.
You know, I was going to bring this up, and I'm so glad that somebody in the chat room did. Ghost from a New Bull in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive if you want to join. He says, remember how controversial it was when NYPD Blue showed Dennis Franz's naked ass on ABC pre-9/11?
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember my mom and dad talking about, like, whispering in the kitchen.
Absurd.
Like, talking about it. I remember, like, what are you guys talking about? And I remember my mom and dad actually having a conversation about, like, tonight Dennis Franz is going to show his butt. That's never been seen on TV. I don't want you watching it.
Well, you know, it's interesting how media has developed in the United States and how such, you know, we're in such a different place now that it's just open forum, you know, is because like, you know, TV comes out, radio, and it's like, okay, and then the government's like, we gotta have some sort of rules on this, you know, and decency and like, and people were. It's funny because you look back in the day, you're like, oh yeah, like people were more affected, but they're also dying younger and lots of horrible things, like more of the horrible things, like wars were happening. They're like, we can't show this on TV. Meanwhile, half of your nation's men have been traumatized by war and seen the worst things a human could see. You know,
we didn't even know the ramifications.
But like, we can't let a MASH do a curse word. And look at these people like fought in a war.
I think don't you have a tendency to over control the things you know and can control?
Yeah,
right. Like it's because it's there and you can censor it.
And and then based on a system that was based on nothing,
right?
You know, like
George Carlin's
based on nothing. George Carlin's dirty words, like that literally tracks back to how the government decided what dirty words were going to be excluded from,
which is insane.
Yeah, some comedian, and then
with no intent ever brought in. But anyway,
but it's like, and then now with the internet and stuff, it's like, oh, he's like, you know, it's all open forum, and people police themselves. Like, which is another thing. Of course they do. Like, everybody just cares about money and their livelihood. Like, the YouTubers, like,
they're not filthy. They can't be.
They're not like Mr. Beast isn't going to pull his pants down and start helicoptering.
I'm telling you right now, but if he did, he'd have my vote for the next president of the United States. If Mr. Beast pulled his pecker out and swirled it,
it's bad for business. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what keeps, you know. And same thing with cable TV and like. But it's funny. The Walking Dead was on cable. They could have aired curse words. It didn't matter.
Yeah, but it was also at a time.
But they didn't do it for business reasons.
They did, but they also wanted to push the limit with some of the violence. I feel like you're talking about, you know, these are. This was a time when like shows like Nip Tuck came out on cable, where they were like, let's see what we can get away with, you know? And I think a lot of horror people, when they knew that they were doing Walking Dead, which is one of, if not the most iconic zombie comic franchise of all time, right?
Yeah.
So then they were like, let's go hard. And I think they tried to a little bit.
Oh, yeah, they went super hard. And again, it's not for 10-year-olds. Like, that's on me as a parent.
I would have gotten that wrong, too, though, because
But I laughed at how bad it was.
But distance changes your perception of it, right?
But, yeah, they never show a butt. They never curse. Because that's bad for business, but they do show ultimate violence. And that's fine, and
Yeah.
that's because we live in
America's-
America. Yeah,
America,
it's a
yeah.
weird. That's a weird thing, and
Yeah.
I never noticed as much until I have kids and watching it in front of someone.
We could have had
my
a world.
kid,
We could have had
and
a
I'm like,
world
that's
with
bizarre.
less violence and more 13-year-old Brazilians with no tops on. Could have had that world, but we didn't. America doesn't have that world. That's Brazil. You don't have that. Here, you get tons of violence and everyone's covered up. That's what you get. Let's do a voicemail.
Okay.
Let's do a couple of these before we close out these couple of segments. Try this one right here.
You guys are talking about bonuses on the OG recap. I work for a multi-million-dollar company. I work for the guy that's the former owner of the Timberwolves and his printing company. And for Christmas, we all get a $25 gift card. Yep. It used to be we'd get a turkey on Thanksgiving, a gift card for that to the local grocery store. And then on Christmas bonus would be $25 gift card. Yeah. I miss working for a large cellular company where we'd get 4 digits for a bonus every year before the decimal point. So I don't know if there's any sort of standard. It just depends on how cheap your CEO is.
Yeah, I don't think there's a standard.
And by the
really.
way, big corporations aren't doing that anymore.
No.
they stopped that a long time ago, sir. Although
you'll have
it's all
you'll have a
different, but-
couple of them. Yeah, they're all different. Like you'll have some big companies that like you'll be like surprised at how good the person was hooked up, and then you'll have some companies where like mine stopped. Mine went from press broadcasting, where I'd get a gift basket that was made by my direct superior that would have stuff in it that was curated for me, to eventually getting nothing.
Well, let me defend them for a second.
Please, yeah, I love
because
defending a monster. Do
Let's
it.
just say I'm CEO Tom Van for whatever company, right? And then I'm like, you know what? My employees, they
We gave
deserve
bonuses here.
a
We
nice
gave good bonuses
Christmas
here.
bonus.
I'll
Yeah,
defend
yeah,
our
yeah.
bonus. Tom and
Yeah,
Dim
yeah,
bonus is a goddamn good bonus.
Yeah. So we'll give out a Christmas bonus, and then like we give it out. Everybody's happy.
Okay.
Give them a turkey, and then
We never gave turkey.
$2,500 or something. Like people are like, whoa, that's all, and then they appreciate it, right? So then they appreciate it. They're happy. They're like, oh, we see productivity increase right after Christmas. They went back down again.
Yeah, it always goes back
Yeah.
down.
Then I do that for a couple years,
Yeah.
right? And then I sometimes hard times or whatever, and then like the company is going through some recession, tariffs are getting me, and then I'm like, well, I can't do 2,500. I'm gonna only do 1,500.
You can never take away.
yeah.
No, you can
Well,
never
the
take away.
tariffs!
No, you
The
and I.
goddamn tariffs!
But you and I never did this. We never did this. We never.
Well, I don't want. I'm just
unless
saying the
unless
terrorists.
you know something I don't know, I believe.
Oh, they all quit.
Yeah, they did all quit, but I don't think once we gave a bonus, you never got a smaller bonus because that. Oh, did we? Oh no. No, now I know what happened.
Well, I would have if I was Sam, I would have been like, I'm the only employee, and my bonus stayed the same. That's what
the
I
way
would
it
think.
works.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
But,
you don't
so-
absorb Butler's bonus. That's not how it works. I learned that from Clear Channel.
so
when
then-
Jeff Howe quit,
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
would've
get his
thought-
money.
But then I thought I'll go down to 1,500 because the tariffs, and then everybody's bitching
Yeah.
online. They're posting. They're like, Scrooge McDuck didn't give me a JD.
I can't buy anything.
I expected.
This guy's probably using my bonus for more Bic razors for his pubes.
Yeah. So then they're bitching about the 1,500, and I'm like, oh, what did I have to deal with terrorists? I'm on my cigarette boat.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed
Rick
in my
Ross was
life.
on a
I'm
cigarette
rich.
boat yesterday.
Yeah, I'm stinking rich.
Fast. How fast are you going?
Yeah.
Turned down for what?
And I took my normal bonus because I'm not letting the tariffs get me. I'm the owner. And anyway,
Well, poor people need less of a bonus.
so then I realized, well, they're just bitching about everything, so I'm going to nothing.
So it's out of spite.
Yeah. Well, they started bitching on the internet.
Oh, so
they're-
it's a borderline. It's a release the oil.
And then I realized, like, they need the jobs. They're a slave to this job. You see what I'm saying?
so
They're
you can
never
take
gonna
the
leave.
bonus and they can't do nothing about it.
Because what I've realized is humans, they get into the same everyday,
routine, their safety and routine,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they feel safe. And as you age, you get more anxiety. So you never leave anyway. So you're stuck in a prison of work, no matter what kind of conditions I make for you.
I'm sorry. What were you saying? I was staring through my bars.
And then no more bonuses.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And it's like, you want to leave? I'll get you a new one, person in here, but you'll never leave. You could easily just go apply for other jobs, but you never will because you're
won't
lazy.
leave.
I know.
You won't leave because you're a pussy.
yeah.
Is that part of it too?
Yeah. I'm driving my cigarette boat, and then Then I trip over some sticks because my spaceship fell down in the wrong place.
This door looks weird.
They're like, can't get the door open.
Yeah, this door looks flimsy as hell. How are we faking this today? Uh-oh.
Kiss the ground, Perry.
Let's do. You know what? You know how I want to close this. I want to
Okay.
close this with a story about juggalos.
All
Let's
right,
do
okay.
just a nice little juggalo voicemail.
Hey, Tom and Dan, quick story for you. I spoke with my oldest sibling. He is a juggalo, and he told me an interesting story that he has a concert for ICP coming up in May in Syracuse, New York, and I asked him why not Buffalo, because that's where I thought they typically did the whole gathering, and he told me that ICP is no longer allowed in Buffalo because there is a venue there called the Town Ballroom, and the last time they held the event there, they soaked it with so much Faygo that they permanently damaged the structure, and that Faygo was seeping through the wooden floor into the basement. That's how much Faygo they soaked the venue with. So I just thought that was a funny story. Hope you guys are doing well.
Did you know that? Did you know that ICP can no longer play Buffalo because they used too much Faygo at the Tom Theater?
Now,
I think it was the Tom Theater.
That's
got to be
could
an
be true.
urban legend or true? What do you
okay.
think?
Well, because there's a perfect urban legend in the fact that me and Daniel have always been fascinated with ICP, and we thought differently of them when we heard them on Corolla the one time when they did an interview, and we realized like they know business and they know how to create an engaged audience, and there's a little more purpose to their behavior than we thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, we thought it was just all crazy random, and it's like these guys kind of knew what they were building, and they're good businessmen, right? We both agree.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like we wanted to be them or anything, but we would listen to them and be like, wow, these guys are doing the highest level.
Outside of mainstream media.
Yeah, this is as alternative as it gets, and they're doing it, and they're doing it well.
And so, with all that being said, I could see them doing an event at a venue, like, the gathering or whatever. And then obviously the venue, like, maybe, because here's the thing, all these venues, like, if you ruin anything inside, like, you sign contracts and everything, you have to pay for it. So the venue is like, yeah, okay, you soaked everything with Faygo. Guess what? Here's a $80,000 bill that your insurance company now has to pay.
Well, especially, like, I was thinking when he told this story.
They have insurance.
Pun
like, they have
intended,
to.
because that was the historian that left that voicemail. But
Yeah.
I was like, if this was a historic venue, and a lot of these older places are, it might be an old wooden stage, and then you've just Faygo'd all over it, and I would probably, as the stage manager, and look, I'm not anti-art, and I'm certainly not anti-ICP. I'd probably want a deposit for that. Because I'm going to have to get somebody to clean that up.
Of course. Well, that's the thing with everything. Like, so you have insurance, you sign contracts. Like, the ICP is not just showing up. Like, and then obviously the venue knew who was showing up and who was doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was anywhere during the internet.
Yeah, this has caused them a lot of problems. It's the Town Ballroom in Buffalo. The Faygo shower has been banned, where they spray fans of Faygo during the performances. You can't find much information on it, but there are multiple venues that have been canceled over the course of the last couple years, and it referenced the Loft in Lansing, Michigan, was canceled because the venue expressed concerns about their historic venue and Faygo. There you go.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
these
don't
places
want people
don't-
spraying,
Why don't it just build your own stage outside and do well, you're fat guys, you don't want to be outside. Okay, never mind.
Right, and so they probably did get banned, but also if they need to, if somewhere else offers cheaper venue rentals or whatever else, like, I could see just them never correcting anybody if you're like, oh, we're banned from Buffalo. Like, that's a one venue. Imagine Buffalo, New York has
thousands.
Yeah. Or at
Dude, we
least-
have thousands.
at
And we're
least-
Orlando. Buffalo is thousands.
dozens of good venues that they could use. It's probably they do it in somewhere else because of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like they're banned from all of Buffalo. It's like, and so that's
They're pretty big, though.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of venues
that
don't want to
does-
work with them because of their audience.
They're
That
very
is
big.
true.
Yeah.
Like, there have been venues that didn't want to work with us because and not so much anymore, but especially 7-8 years ago, because they thought our audience was crazier than they are, and they thought that they had some sort of misconception that our audience was like way more party animal, like way more like I don't know, like in some ways disrespectful to the venue.
Yeah.
We never ever had a problem,
No.
but there were people that like, I don't want to work with you guys. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't think we've ever done anything crazy.
No. It's-
Most of our listeners look after each other, look after the
Yeah, of course.
venues, clean up.
But again, a lot of the juggalos are like that too.
They
are. If you talk to any in the juggalo community,
Like Big LA, the
they're-
big fat
they
guy.
all
that can,
help each other
that
nice,
can put
yeah.
the AK under his gut flap.
yeah.
That's a very nice man.
Like they would probably tout themselves as maybe not as respectful of an audience, but they respect
can
each
be
other.
Very respectful, but stinky.
Yeah. But
A
that's
little
yeah.
stinky,
But
a little sweaty, a lot of ponytails.
they look out for each other, and I think they care about.
Hey, Juggalos is,
ICP.
I mean, I'm telling you,
you
man,
know.
Juggalos is brotherhood. I learned that early on.
Yeah. It's so anyway, it is funny though, especially like when you talk to like a grown person. Like if you're in a teen or early 20s, but it's like you're 48 and you're a juggalo, that's weird to me.
Oh, you think you age out of it?
I think you do. Yeah.
Hip hop, you do age out of hip hop more than you do like rock and roll.
Well,
No, but I'm being serious. Like you can be an old man that liked Aerosmith as a young man, and you can be an old man, biker man that loves Aerosmith. It's very difficult for a young hip hopper. Like you don't see a lot of older black men, friends of mine that are older that are like, I'm still into hip hop. They're mostly into like soul or R&B, right? It's weird.
I can see the transition.
We'll probably
but-
get more of it now because we have hip hop will be a newer form aging, right? So we're gonna get that now.
It's just like something weird about like painting your face and you're like George Costanza bald and you're spraying Fago and
young man's
you're
game.
like 53 and so you're like it's kind of like, oh, you're still doing it.
Oh my God, Big A, LA just died.
Really?
The guy with the big belly and he puts an AK under his
Yeah,
belly.
yeah.
I mean, like not the healthiest man, but I met him one time. Very nice man. That sucks.
He was
used to
friends
go
with
to-
Busey.
Yeah, he used to go to Busey's place all the time. Well, I would imagine, if you're that heavy, you probably carry the consequences that are of being
Yeah, but he
that
seemed
heavy.
pretty young though. So
He's younger than me. I know that.
did he die of OD? Because it seemed like you could carry that much weight for a while before it gets your heart. Like, although
I don't know. Maybe Ghost will tell us if they did an autopsy or something. Although I can imagine that.
Big Black, his heart got him.
Yeah.
Though he was older though, like he was in his 50s already.
Yeah, people didn't know he was older when he was doing the show.
Yeah. I think he was doing that show in his 40s.
Yes.
And so by the time like
And we all thought he was like 28.
yeah,
and he was
because it
not.
looked so good.
Yeah, black don't crack.
Yeah. All right,
I'm
we
seeing
got to
if
get out of
anybody-
here.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you over. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Almost forgot where it was. All right, let's put that in, and then we just do an OG.
Yeah, let's do an OG
Goddamn,
recap.
It's hard to not talk when y'all are talking.
It's
I'm over here going,
You're
I
doing
can
fine.
explain The Walking Dead to you. I could explain what you're talking about. I'm a nurse. I can talk about shit. Give me a microphone.
We'll talk to you on the BDM show then. Go sit on the seat. We'll yeah.
Yeah, sit on all the way on that side.
On
And
the
then- and then
OG
move
recap.
that.
What is the fucking password?
And then move that mic over there. Well, I can't give it out on the show.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. Take that little mic and just move it all the way over, and then you're gonna sit right there and use that mic.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And then your headphones are right there in front.
Ooh.
Those are for you.
Like, I'm just remarking over here to myself and trying not to crack up.
No, you're
No,
fine.
serious. I got something to say.
You're fine.
Oh, this is weird. Oh, I know why you do this now. Ooh.
Yeah. Having it in both ears is too much.
Now
for me.
you should be able to hear yourself
Oh, God.
if you talk into the
Oh,
microphone.
God.
There
I
you
don't
go.
like the way I sound, and I really don't like the way I look.
Well, welcome to
you know.
what we say every day. That's what I say. I'm like, look bad, sound bad. All right, do it again.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Van.
Oh.
No, that's me.
I'm like trying to adjust the camera like I have
No,
it.
you're
That's
fine.
funny.
You
Is
just
this close enough? Is
you
this
just
good?
relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Because I'm going to laugh loud.
You're good.
I do.
Let me save this.
Oh, wait, we don't want it in my face.
We didn't have any curses on
Unless we want it
in my phone.
I don't think so.
All right. DeBerry Joe says, "Is that Suzette?" Yes, it is.
Hello. From Tennessee.
I agree with you on hip hop and rap, DeBerry Joe. I agree with that. I've yet to see really any, other than my wife and I talking about like classic hip hop. You don't get a lot of guys that'll be like, but you're getting it now. So like the newer generations now there will be more classic hip hop. That's a new thing.
But I feel like I'll still listen to the hip hop that I did in high school.
But it's gonna be classic hip hop.
Yeah, oh yeah, because of fucking 30 years
which
ago.
will insult you. Because somebody will hear it and be like, "Ew, this fucking sucks."
Oh yeah. It's like an old Tribe Called Quest,
Yeah,
and
which is amazing. Far
know,
Side.
Even Wu-Tang.
Old Wu-Tang's great.
Like the new generation thing is old man rap, right?
Yeah, they don't like the boom bap. They call it boom bap. Boom bap, boom boom bap. It's too simple of a beat. I like my shit weird and mumbly. That's what kids like. They like the beat to be all weird and be like, magic, magic, gang, 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 magic, gang, gang, magic. That could be a hit. Gang, gang, magic. I just wrote that. That was actually a little too boom bappy. It would have needed to be a little too weird.
But
a little more weird.
I enjoy like Kendrick Lamar's doing.
Oh, he's
like,
he's
hot.
old man rap.
Is he old man?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why then.
Yep. He's super popular, but that would still be considered old man rap.
I consider Run DMC old if you're talking.
That's super old man rap.
Oh, hey.
That's dead man
you
rap.
guys, do you not know how old I am?
I don't ask a lady's age ever.
I'm 55.
Yeah, I feel 55. I'm 48.
Well,
you don't look 55. I probably wouldn't say that.
I am 55.
Where'd T go?
I wish I could see the chat room. Y'all, I can't see it. My phone is not.
Oh, I didn't know what happened. I was like, you
it
walked
cannot,
out.
it
Is he okay?
cannot,
I'm out of here.
I'm gone.
All right, the OG. Let me make sure I got this page.
Ooh, now you shut off.
There we go.
Oh, there. Oh, he just went away from the microphone. I was like, what?
All right, Mr. Van, would you like to start us?
Yeah.
Shit.
Here we
Where's
go.
my drink? I left my drink. Oh,
You can get it.
Yeah.
Here, Tom's
will
got
I?
it.
Oh, thanks. Oh, y'all, Tom brought me my
All right,
drink.
here we go.
Tom got him waiting on me.
And 3, 2.
Welcome to your OG recap. What show is this, Daniel?
This is all the way back from January 8th of 2020, show number 602, entitled Blood Dog.
2020 or 2021?
Did I say 2020? I meant 2021.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, sorry.
I was about to say, like, I think we just broke into
Yes, we're in
2021.
2021 now. Yes.
Oh, that's right.
This is the leak in the studio. Butler chopped the outlet and got shocked. Break through the boundaries, Tom Van. 810 IP in the drawer. Tom's karate kick, something popped. Mo DeWitt jingles. Was that where we originally got these?
It may have been when
he's a lawyer, man. Remember those?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of those still.
It could have been when he first started sponsoring the studio, maybe. Maybe that was the beginning of 2021.
Did you notice Real Radio followed suit? Trendsetters. Fucking trendsetters did. Always ahead of the game. 2 steps ahead. Nick Avocado.
So Suzette's here sitting in with us.
There she is. Say
and-
hi.
Oh, don't get close up.
She's
Yeah, you got to do a close.
Suzette, you're from Tennessee, right?
That's where I live currently.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Suzette came into town for the BDM appreciation event. By the way, if you are an out-of-town BDM and you are in town, hit us up on email.
Yeah,
you
we'd
can
love
come
to have you come in.
sit in the studio.
It's
like
awesome, y'all.
we appreciate any BDM, and we apologize that out-of-town BDMs don't get as many perks because they usually can't attend the live events.
We're working on that though. We're trying to get like some more male friendly things to send you, whether it's a limited edition, super expensive, glittery sticker or some kind of garbage.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
but
that's why we do the appreciation event.
We
It's
are
like-
trying
Right.
to do things that we can get to you. We're
Yeah,
trying to do it.
And that's mainly the reason why we do like the $5 shirt every year, so we can pack everything else in there to send to out-of-town BDMs, in-town BDMs, people that don't get to enjoy the the events. But anyway, so we do
And
appreciate.
thank you for
everyone.
coming in, and thank you for being at the
Thank
event,
you,
and more
thank
than
you.
anything, thank you for being with us for
Suzette, how'd you?
how long now?
Yeah, how long you been listening to the
Oh
show?
Lord, 2006 is when I lived here. 2006 to 2008.
Okay, so you listen to the Monsters.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was my sister, Laurel Lefevre,
Okay.
Frog Queen, for those of you who might know her, who's gone now,
Yes.
sadly.
But
But
always-
she's the one that started me listening to the
But
show.
never forgotten. Super blessed
Oh
for
my
her
God,
because I
okay.
knew her for
Please don't make me cry.
Yeah, sorry, but
Yeah!
just a damn wonderful.
It's good for radio.
She's
Yeah.
fantastic.
But a damn wonderful human. And,
Absolutely.
and a good
Absolutely.
good listener and
And-
somebody
and,
that I
you know,
connected with for many
People-
many
I know.
years.
I have a picture
so.
of you two together. So.
Love her.
But yeah, she got me into it, and it just so happened that right at the same time I was taking my daughter to school, she was 6 through 8 years old at the time we were here. Drunky's 1 Minute Comedy would come on,
No, all right.
and she absolutely would just, oh my God, that's Drunky!
You know, I think
She
about
was
this sometimes.
Totally
I
into
appreciate you doing that because I think about sometimes how many people wouldn't listen to our show if parents hadn't exposed their children to Drunky the Bear, and that's not a joke.
it. Yeah.
I'm not kidding about that.
Oh, no.
Think of how many new listeners that we have now that listen to
Yeah.
you. That's very important that you had a bear suit, and very important that you and I worked
Bingo.
together at that time, because there are a lot of humans that listen to us now had that exchange with their parent in the truck, in the car, in the car
Yeah.
line.
Every
That's a
day at
big
8.
deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. In fact, I think it's a bigger deal than we even take account
Hell
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, it's her. She does this with me all the time. She'll go, I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
She knows it all. She knows it all.
You
I
have
mean,
a
she's 25
you made a
now, by the
bunch
way.
of you made a
You're
turned a-
known for it's fine.
You turned a bunch
That's your
of
greatest
a
accomplishment.
bunch of young
Saying
women.
they're fine. All right.
fine,
Thank
I'm
you very
fine.
much.
You
There
turned
you go.
a bunch of children into unfeeling robots. Thousands of children across
Yeah,
Central
yeah.
Florida.
I like other
Hundreds
people.
of thousands of children, according to iHeart's numbers, right? You are just banking. You're making little robots.
Like Prince wrote Purple Rain. Like,
Yeah.
And then I get credit for It's
It's
Fine.
fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
You used to say It's Fine a lot.
Yeah.
I still do. That's what I like you for.
You said it during our segment with Colette today.
So then so then when you moved away, you just started. I recently got an email from another BDM. She had a weird name, where it was like Alamanda.
Alamanda, yeah.
Alamanda, yeah. And then when I was writing all the 1095 True Loves little notes, I said, I was like, your name really Alamanda?
That's what an autistic person would do, right? You take the card, you're like, you got a fucking weird name.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what a weirdo does. You got a weird name. That's what a kid does, right?
You have a big nose, lady, or you have a big fat belly, old man.
You want me to wave my chainsaw around? I don't know what you want.
Comedy's back.
I don't know what you want. Hail Hitler, I don't know.
Yeah, quick, put your index finger through your zipper and wiggle it like a penis.
Anyway, so I wrote, and she mentioned that she's been listening for all these years because it's a connection back
Yes,
to
we have a lot
Central
of that, too.
Florida.
Right.
Like she left and she's abroad a lot of different places, but she's like, I listen to feel the connection back to my hometown,
Yeah.
and I forget about that.
Right.
And we have tons of BDMs that live other places that start to look, and then they still listen because they feel that connection back to home,
Exactly.
which I appreciate that people do. I forget sometimes, because you don't run across out of town BDMs that much.
Right.
So when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, there are lots of BDMs. I would even say, 1,000. I mean, maybe in almost 1,000.
Hey, you don't have to get it accurate.
No.
I'm working on this with him. We're going to get there. It
Then-
doesn't have to be accurate. It can just be something you
Just
say.
throw a number.
Because
Any number.
when we were mailing out a lot of stuff, a lot of out of town addresses.
It was a lot. Yeah.
And then it's like,
That's why it was so hard to get all the addresses.
But then it makes sense. Is like people lived here and they move away, and then it's like that's the one thing that other shows, and me and Daniel realize this, can't offer is they don't live in Castleberry and Baldwin Park,
Right.
and they don't talk about
Orlando,
or
or-
it's like, so you listen to some other podcasts, but it's like that hometown connection is really one of the only rare things that we could offer.
Should
as
we do a better
podcasters.
job at updating? Like, I mean, we don't like. I know they say they listen because of that, but it's not like we're the cutting edge of what's happening in Orlando. You know what I mean?
No, because I don't think they
don't want
primarily. If we stop making them laugh, they're gone.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah, even Suzette. I could probably keep Suzette around
Yeah,
just
yeah.
by my
Pull your
good
pecker
looks.
out a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yeah. Just
And
flash your dick.
Yeah. She'll stay around because
Yeah,
she's
What am I, a
obviously.
fluffer?
Yeah.
No, you just have to look at it.
Yeah. But I think after a while she'll be like, not funny anymore.
Yeah.
So
What's funny is
that's the first.
I went a little too far, and she
I've been
corrected me.
listening since 2006, so something's funny.
Yeah,
I'm still watching.
Okay.
You know what? We don't even have to try that hard. I think Suzette would laugh about anything we said.
A lot of our listeners are like that. Thankfully, they're
Why am I trying so hard?
That's why we listen. We want to laugh at nothing.
I can do anything.
I
I
want
can shoot
easy-
someone in the streets.
I want easy laughing, not like comedians. That mean, I have to think about their jokes because they're
Yeah.
clever and well written.
Yeah, they take a long time to
Yeah.
write all this
Yeah,
shit.
That's actually a skill. You guys are just, yelling absurdity.
Well, at least you've gone past, a top 10 list.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
never.
like that the most. That should listen. By the way, I barely even fucking tried. I hated the place I work for. I was like, I'm not doing shit. Oh God, you're gonna do this thing again.
We are getting some. DeBerry Joe's moving away, so he'll be moving soon. So he'll be
Where are
in
you going, Joe?
He's going to, I believe, the Carolinas. I believe he's going to South Carolina, which is not a great place.
That's North.
Charleston, that's good.
Yeah, a lot of people are going up
My
to North
daughter's in
Carolina.
Columbia.
You think you're too good for
They
us,
think they're
Joe?
better than us. They do. They do.
Yeah. The Carolinas are not
okay,
that good.
I'm going to share something
It's
with you.
Mountain Florida.
Any friend of mine, anyone, if I know you, if I care about you, if you're moving away, I talk mad shit about you thinking you're better than me because you're moving away.
Yeah.
Mad shit about you.
Yeah. No
All
beach,
of you.
no beaches up there. It's cold.
Oh,
Yeah, you
don't
think you're better
remind
than
me.
us
Yeah,
because we're swamped down here? Fuck you. Never come back.
Yeah.
You're never welcome.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold from November to into March. It's still cold up in North Carolina. By the way, I'm going to New York City in like 4 days.
Yeah, you want to talk about that
No
just a little bit
way.
before we get out of here?
Well, I heard some joke on SNL this past Saturday about I think it was.
I don't watch that. That's some woke ass garbage.
Come on.
Wallen's right walking out.
Give me back to God's country. Oh,
North
God.
Carolina.
Me and Maisie say that so much. Oh, wait, hold on. This is the perfect time. Me and Maisie say that all the time. Segue, and we'll come back to your story, but this is a perfect segue. Maisie and I wrote a song, and I want to share it with the BDMs. Here we go. This is a song because I didn't want to put my cowboy hat down while I was pooping, so we wrote a song. It's the first song we've ever written. Daniel and Maisie. It's called Cowboy Hat.
I don't want to set it on the floor, and I don't want to hang it on the door. What's a man to do when he's got to take a poo? I'm pooping with my cowboy hat on, dude.
Here's the first verse.
I'd been working out on the site. I hit the old 7-Eleven for a half-pound big bite. I was in my King Ranch watching Mexicans fight. Ran for the porta potty, cheeks squeezed real tight. I don't want to set it on the floor.
Okay, you get the idea. She didn't understand the Mexican line. Daddy added that one. Daddy added that one.
You'll laugh at that when you grow up.
Also, this song, loosely inspired by Tuttle's dad, and I sent it to Tuttle, and I think I made him cry. Yeah, so if you want that song, I'll put it up on Spotify for you in a couple of days. It's called Cowboy Hat, and it's about pooping with your cowboy hat on.
And how fitting since I'm from Nashville area.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cowboy
That
Hat
could be a
Sundays.
hit.
I didn't know what to do.
That
It was
could
Cowboy
be a
Hat Sundays.
hit.
I had my hat on. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to put it anywhere, so I just kept it on. But it's weird. It is
there you
very
go.
odd shitting with a cowboy hat on. You feel weird when it's coming out and you're wiping and you have a big cowboy. It's a weird thing to do. That's why I wrote the song.
That's your country band name.
What's
Cowboy Sunday.
that? Cowboy Sunday. Cowboy Hat Sundays.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's the name, and then the name of the song
Is Cowboy Hat.
So it was John Hamm hosting. I think that was last week.
Oh, okay. I did
yeah.
not see the John Hamm episode, but I hear it's really good.
But he made a joke about how cold it was. He's like, oh, springtime in New York, 32 degrees and damp or whatever. And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, shit, it's still cold up
Yeah,
there.
there's
Because
still-
I was going to go run in Central Park one morning.
Like Rocky.
And I was like, I'm just going to bring
You're going to have
my,
like sweats on.
my Dukes and, my normal Florida running gear.
Oh,
and then I
hold
was
on,
like,
Dukes?
it's going to be cold as shit. And
Do you have an overcoat? Or are you gonna just wear some stupid? And I don't say stupid because of what it is, but if you go up there and you're rocking some villain windbreaker, I'm gonna make fun of you. You gotta
That's
look,
all I have.
No, you gotta look like New York City. You gotta have a pea coat on.
No.
You need a coat, an overcoat.
No,
you need a scarf.
we
You
travel.
need some boots. You gotta put some boots on. You're gonna look like fools.
Anywhere the vans go, you could tell we're Floridians. You're like, oh, that Florida.
Leave the flip flops at home.
Yeah, no flops. You gotta go boots. You have a pair of boots. You gotta get a pair of like
No, I
Doc
don't.
Martens.
Yeah, no. I got
Oh,
my
yeah.
business shoes. I'm gonna be wearing this.
Your chaps, your Ralph Lauren.
yeah.
What about the boys? They don't like the cold.
Yeah, well,
You gotta bundle them up.
they got Colorado. We're dressing like Colorado.
Yeah, you gotta dress like Colorado.
But
You
anyway,
got to.
it reminded me that it's fucking cold up
Yeah.
north, and
I hate
I
it.
forget that we got it good down here in
But
Florida.
it's gonna be cool, man. New York City,
Oh,
when it's
God,
cold,
it's
I kind of feel
fantastic.
like, you're in a magical place with almost anything and everything you could ever want to see, eat, look at. Like, that's the place. That's
Have
the
you been there?
epicenter of the world.
Never been to New York City.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've never been to the city either, and we're going when May can go. We've had a couple chances to go. There's this opportunity that she can do where she can go and then go behind the scenes with the Rockettes. It's just super
Absolutely.
expensive. It's like $4,000 or some garbage to do it, but some of the girls at her dance academy do it, and I'm like,
Oh, if
we're
they
not-
do it, you got to do it.
I know. Yeah, I know. Oh, I
Keep
knew
up.
this guy. I knew he's gonna do that.
I had a
You gotta
dancer
keep up.
daughter, too.
Now you don't
Keep
understand.
up with everybody around you.
now
Everybody
what-
knows that.
What's the one factor, right? What's the one factor that's completely out of your control?
My control?
Yeah, Andrea's cheapness in being inside of Maisie's body, and she has it.
Well, that's good.
Maisie said that we would have gone and we would have had to rush it a day and skip a day. She's like, I don't want it unless I can do the whole thing, and it's too expensive. She's like complaining about it.
Yeah, well,
I'm
that's
like,
good.
yeah, you're
She's
cheap
not
like
wrong.
your mom.
She's
You're
not
cheap
wrong,
just
but
like your
it's-
mom.
I lived in there. I worked there for 4 years, 4 months. Excuse me.
In New York
In
City?
yeah. Well, in Queens.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I went into the city absolutely every time I could. Anytime I could. Saw any show I could at the time.
So Queens is not in the city?
No. No. no,
I don't
not
know
really.
anything. Yeah.
It's no, it isn't.
It's
So
a
the
borough.
Queens of
It's a
Bronx?
borough, correct.
It's a borough
Yeah,
outside.
but
of
the-
it.
There's 5 boroughs
Okay.
around New York City, so
I've seen
it's
gangs in
wild.
New York. I know. Which one is the
You need a
butcher
hat.
one?
You need a hat and a mustache.
Well, where I was working as a nurse was the clinic, a very small clinic inside the New York Times, where they distribute, where they print the paper,
wow.
and where they distribute it. They have a clinic in there, like for
Like a
acci-
walk-in clinic or something?
Yeah, like for
Okay.
accidents as well as just if somebody's sick, they can come in there and do it. It's just very small. But and I was working there for 4 months during COVID.
No, during COVID?
Yeah.
How was
Yeah.
that? That must have been
Well, that was the other thing. They had to have people there to test all the time. Like workers that didn't
Sure.
want to get the vaccine could not get
You
the
know what I
vaccine,
call
but
those
they had to
people?
be
You know what I call those
they had to
people?
be
Heroes.
tested every week.
No, that's it.
Yeah, how you
Every
know?
single week.
I heard from people that lived in New York during COVID. Like
Yeah.
Dan Stone was telling us, like the closest to ever experiencing the end of times that you could probably get to, where it's like this was what it would probably be like, where everybody it was shut down.
I mean, you
to
mentioned
such
Walking Dead. Dan said it was like Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
yeah.
Dan said it was terrifying. He said he'd go out on his balcony and you could hear yourself talk in New York. You
Right.
could
Yeah,
hear
and
yourself talk.
but everything was shut.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and
you-
nobody outside.
Like obviously we went through it in Florida. Like we had to wear a mask in Publix. That was it.
Yeah,
And then
you
if
guys
you were
didn't get
outside
it.
of the city, then nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like it was business as usual.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. There was barely protocol of anything. So it's like no one got to at least.
I mean, Johnny from Johnny's Other Side just found out about it. I don't know if you know
Right
that.
on.
Yeah, like today.
But it's like that to experience that close to what it would be like in a fucking movie when the city
Right.
when
Yeah.
the world is
Dan
ending.
said it
It's
changed.
crazy.
It changed his head a little bit. Like he was like it was making me very scary. It's like it was very
Well, you
like
should
it was fucking with
That's
me.
not terrifying because you're like, well, what if they stop delivering food to the grocery store? You know, so like,
Yeah.
there's no way out of this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure everybody was scared every second of that when during at least the first,
Yeah.
couple months of it.
Like
when there
walking
was no-
outside on your balcony and not hearing a horn honk in New
Right.
York. Like that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
it's,
you better
that's
keep
crazy
delivering
because
shit.
it's all the time. You
Yeah.
know, horns and sirens and traffic. It's just all the time. So at that time, I understood that it wasn't like that.
The-
I wasn't there then. I was later,
Oh, okay.
thankfully.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had thought about it because when you go, there was a time they were asking for any nurse of any kind in good standing with their license to go to New York.
Yeah.
During the thick of it, I just wasn't able to do that.
But you're gonna have a blast, dude. It's gonna
But
be
it
so
was
fun.
awesome. It was, I mean, what I could do outside of work was just amazing.
You're not a
It was
foodie
awesome.
guy, but I almost feel like you're gonna get the world's most famous pizza. I'm trying to think of other stuff for you to eat while you're there.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe some crazy Chinese food or something.
Well, Times Square has all kinds of stuff, but some of it's normal crap.
we're in walking distance because we're staying near where Radio City Music Hall where Ricky
okay,
Gervais.
yep.
And so I think is it Manhattan? Is that I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay, so yeah, we're staying in Manhattan, and so we're walking distance.
Can you get a photo with a dirty Mickey Mouse?
No, yeah.
If you did a photo with a dirty Mickey Mouse, I will pay handsomely for that.
I was trying to explain to my sons because I'm more of a mountain man myself. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Have you
Probably
heard of,
why you're attracted to me.
Oh, must be,
It's probably his outdoor ruggedness, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not so much of a city guy, but so I'll tell my sons because this will be by far the biggest city they've ever been to.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what's crazy?
How's gonna feed your horses while you're gone? What are you gonna do?
Because I guess the second biggest city I've ever been to is Philly, and like that's a proper city too, or it's just like. Every street is endless buildings, and like you're in a proper.
Yeah, you can't see
big
the
city.
horizon.
Yeah. Like, and I'm like, that's a cool. Like I was trying to explain to my sons today. I'm like, it's cool being in a crazy big city where it's like, whoa, this is something that I've never even experienced.
That's a Minecraft right
Yeah,
there. buddy.
Yeah.
Never-ending buildings.
Yeah, that's real
tall,
Minecraft.
Tall, crazy.
It's everywhere. Like this is a metropolis. Anyway, so
Just like the stuff that you get to see, just like the vendors and the people and just the energy of the city, I think is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
very.
would be okay with just walking down the streets of New York with nothing else to do but just walking down the streets of New York.
That's what I was doing some of the time.
Yeah.
And we've been to D.C., but they don't let you can't build a building taller than the goddamn what's that dildo white dildo.
The monument, the
Yeah,
Washington
the
Monument.
Washington Monument. There's some rule that they made back,
shit.
when they established the D.C. Like
Yeah.
nothing can be taller.
It doesn't
than
have
the
the same
monument.
vibe.
Yeah, no.
No.
Although the homeless, though, I like exposing my sons to the homeless so they
Yeah.
can see, the other niggas, they're growing up too easy.
Yeah.
Then take him to
we tell
downtown
Maisie,
Sanford,
I tell
man.
Maisie, I'm like, that's who you could become, or he could be pumping you behind a can, like a trash can.
Yeah, but downtown Sanford doesn't have big city homeless. Like big city homeless and like DC, Washington DC
Seattle.
homeless.
Remember the Seattle guy?
Oh,
That
yeah.
guy eating a bird.
Yeah,
Or was it
the-
a fish?
They have birds.
Oh.
They'll eat birds.
Yeah, they're wild.
And it's like
Oh, no.
real extreme mental illness,
Yeah.
and then like they're dressed
Like I want a
bananas.
fentanyl.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want a fentanyl induced
bandages.
old Vietnam helicopter pilot falling asleep eating a bird. That's badass.
Yeah. Then they have to walk past it, and then
Yeah.
you learn to you need light trauma.
And then you make Tommy go past it like 6 times, and then in the 6th time you give him a certificate of because he's passed.
Yeah. Like
He's good now. Because then he could go to Lake Eola. He's a fucking champ. Because like he's walked around some fentanyl bums in Seattle or New York. Like he's got his,
Like I remember when they first saw a homeless person in St. Augustine when they were little, and then I made them jump over his leg.
Those are
St.
not homeless
Augustine
people.
homeless.
Those are jolly buskers.
Yeah, beach bums. yeah. And they're
jolly buskers.
way different vibe than we're in DC. And DC is like,
Oh.
whoa,
We have the best bums, and no one can take that from Florida.
That's
Florida
how-
has the happiest bums.
Well, yeah, and they're not even like you need a scary DC or
Chicago.
New York, Chicago,
big
bum.
Chicago, big
Oh,
Barack
yeah.
Obama bum.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
big Obama bum.
I guess we've been to Chicago
Shit,
too.
I'm going to Chicago at the end of May.
Yeah.
Chicago's cool too.
All big cities are, have some sort of cool element. It's just, they do get crowded, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
Well,
that's
you
what
guys
they
need
are.
to come to Nashville.
I love
We've
Nashville.
been to Nashville,
We
yeah.
have.
Oh,
That,
oh,
that was
that's-
one of our
God, it's so fun.
greatest drunken podcasts was, that's where we did a little bit of doo-doo pie.
Well, you need to come back.
Who was that? The guy we interviewed that was like he was performing in some bar off
He was
Nashville.
the old man that originally sang the Miller
Yes, yeah.
beer commercial.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And if you got the time, if you got the time, we've got the beer.
Yeah, we
Miller
interviewed him.
beer.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that guy.
We did a couple shows out in Nashville, right?
Yeah, and
did
like
we do ACT out there, or just
we acted
BDM?
about how
I must have been in
we were like,
Virginia
oh
then.
my God, we met this living legend, this beer man. Not one person has ever come up to me since we've done that show and go like, I was a living legend. I think that guy's a fucking nothing. Like, I'm just gonna be honest
No
with
one
you now.
cared.
I'm 48 now. My fucking legs don't work. I'm gonna be honest with you about our shows now. I probably hyped that up and told you guys, oh my God, we'll never. This is a legend. That's a that fucking old man. Not one person has ever come up to me and said like, oh wow, you got to talk to Johnny Beer. No one has said that. So I don't think that guy matters at all.
When were you there?
When we did that Disney movie,
We were there
When you were
is
the
it,
homeless people?
2015, 2014.
Yeah. Speaking of homeless, we played
We
old
played
timey
drunks. They were not homeless.
Yeah,
people.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were both really fat. And we had
That was like,
You said that, not me.
oh, no, we were. We were like
yeah.
so much fatter.
But then again, so was I.
Yeah.
And then our
I had
hair.
a butt cut.
Yeah, you had a butt cut. And
I had
I
a fat butt cut.
And I had, oh my God, I had the Nazi. I had the full-on razor cut Nazi haircut.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that I had a Nazi haircut.
Well, no one told me how fat I was, but I was. I gotta show my sons that movie. Can you still find it on
Yeah, you can
on
still find
demand?
it.
What's that name again?
It's called As Dreamers Do.
Yeah.
It's by our good buddy Logan Seculo.
Yeah, I sent a true love letter to him.
I love Logan. He's a good dude.
Anyway, so I got a bunch of true loves back. We got the addresses, including Mo's address.
So now, per the rule, when we get all of our true loves back, we're going to scratch those lottery tickets. And if we win the money, we keep the money.
The right address.
Yeah, we'll get them to you. We'll get them to you. If you didn't get anything, too, I would feel really bad about that. Reach out. Don't be so prideful that you
Yeah,
can't.
we
Because
said
it would make us feel better if we... No, I'm being dead serious in saying that.
I know you are.
Don't be prideful in that respect, because it makes me and Tom feel so much better to say, like, oh, shit, we fucked up. Let us send you some stuff. We want to send you the stuff. So if you didn't get anything, let us know.
Yeah. Although there are a lot of true loves that stopped listening a long time ago.
Yeah,
They just forgot.
That is true.
Or there's like $10.95 a month. I don't care.
Well,
I have money.
Let me add
whatever.
this: don't
I
go
wanna
in there
support
and
them.
cancel. If you realize that you still have the $10.95 rolling and you hate the show, just leave it alone.
Oh, I thought that we were gonna get a lot of cancellations just based on people were like, "What? Tom says I'm a true love." Oh shit!
Yeah. I also thought about like taking a person's address without like sending them unwanted mail. I did think about that. We live in a time where there's crazy paranoia. We started with it. We're gonna finish with it. Weezer's wife's bass player. Crazy paranoia. That lady. If you send her a card unprovoked, she's like, "How'd you get my address?" Right? How the fuck do you get my address? I'm Weezer bass player.
Is
Wife.
address paranoia still a thing because of
Yes.
the internet? But the internet has
Yeah, but
everybody's
people are
address.
dumb. People are dumb.
But they know that it has everybody's address.
They do, but it's not a constant knowing.
So no one talks about it, so that's what they like.
Correct.
You can
But
pay for it.
They are
Just pay
aware.
for anybody's address.
You know, when I first got
Well,
my
you don't have
surgery,
to pay. You just search their name.
Okay,
and where
I
they
have
live.
a confession to make.
Address comes up.
I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
During my surgery, I got a free coupon for one of those websites that you can sign up for, and you can do like the intense, like background check searches on people.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I searched everyone for free. And I know all your secrets. I know everyone's secrets, and I saved them all into a folder on my laptop. I know people in this city whose sons were arrested for things. And I looked them up, and they've never talked about it, and I know it. I know all the secrets. And I have all the secrets.
What is it? You can search their name on Google and it'll pop up, right?
This
There's
is
more.
There's more.
Where does it search?
This
then?
it searches. It goes directly into behind paywall county court records. It's all dialed into one spot. It puts them all, and it's some of these things that like the stuff that you've paid. Like I know Sean Wasson is the type of guy that you'll pay to hide yourself. I can get past it.
Oh.
Because you can pay to hide it, but you could also pay to unhide it again. And I
it
did.
money.
I laid in there, and I was all delusional on pain pills, and I'm Googling everybody, and I got all the secrets.
I'm so disinterested in what everybody's past is. What, you know,
It
like,
wasn't that good.
So like
It wasn't that, nothing big.
like whether or not someone got a DUI or something. I just like I could care less about it.
No, nothing bad.
You know?
Lots of DUIs. Lots of DUIs.
Yeah.
Lots
I'm
of
just
hidden
like,
DUIs.
Oh, sure.
Why don't I
Yeah.
care? That's your.
Maybe I
that's on
shouldn't
you,
say
I
this.
think.
Every client we have has multiple DUIs. That's not true. That's not true.
So that's standard Florida business.
In fact, that makes me want to work with them more.
Yeah, yeah. They're
Okay,
like,
I
oh,
shouldn't
no
say
DUI, no deal. that's the. All right, Suzette,
That's not even
thanks.
funny.
Thanks for supporting us.
Appreciate you being
this
here, my
long.
lady. Thank you so much. We love you.
Appreciate it.
Anything else we need to tell
Although
everybody?
I didn't write your name in the True Love.
Yeah, confession.
I'm
195.
just
bitch.
saying, now that I
195.
wrote everybody's name, I've kept a mental. I almost said mental calendar.
Yeah, I told you I have all the secrets.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, I put everything in calendar form in my brain.
Yeah, confession.
Yeah. But I wrote everybody's
but I
true.
give you a lot of love.
I
so
know
that
who's
counts.
know who's a true love. I know who's not. And I was just saying, I met some of you at the event. I know.
Yeah, and I know who you are.
Yeah. Like, Steve Mooney comes up. I'm like, true. I give him a
Yeah,
hug.
I give him a hug.
Yeah.
His kids are so sweet. He has the sweetest kids.
Yeah,
No shit.
There's-
I was saying. I said, show me your son.
They're the
He's so
sweetest
big.
children.
Yeah.
Our BDMs, you have good kids, good families.
Yes.
Yeah. Then
You guys are gonna make something of yourselves.
I love watching them grow up.
Melissa, our video editor, true love. I give
Yeah.
her a hug.
Yeah.
Merchman, not so much.
I'm gonna give Melissa a compliment that may be
Tracy's
creepy.
name didn't pop up on there.
I'm gonna say some creepy things now. Tracy's
None of our
bikini,
guests-
too revealing. Tracy,
No, don't-
Tracy, put some
Oh,
clothes on.
No, why'd you say that?
Yeah,
Because
but who got the
too
kiss?
revealing. That lady.
Who got the kiss though?
Tracy.
Out of all those
Well,
1095ers,
Tracy had her
who got the
1090
kiss?
chachas out.
No,
Like,
come on.
yeah, Tracy had
Oh,
them
I didn't know
going.
that was a requirement.
And also Melissa, way more attractive than I remembered her.
So, why would you say
Melissa's
that?
a hot piece of ass.
Come on. She's a runner.
I like that.
Oh, nice.
So.
I like that lean body, not like my wife.
Come on. All right. So, Suzette, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
BDMs, thank you.
Yes.
Enjoy this OG recap. It's the first show of 2021. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
All right, guys. Is that it?
Yep.